welcome back to the Will Is podcast. What's happening, my good peoples? Did you miss me? I missed you. Oh, absolutely, I missed you. Of course, I did. Oh, yeah. So, let's get into the show. Hey, a happy Easter to people that study, people that love, people that embrace those traditions, and put your best foot forward and understand, the actuals of how to bring it anew. You know what I'm saying? How to renew, rejuvenate. Oh yeah, how to reset, recalculate, recalibrate. It's all necessary, when this show is called the WIP Spring Forward Show. Absolutely. Why do we want to spring forward? Because we got a lot to what? We got a lot to be happy about. Let's see if this thing working right now, y'all. Let me see. Cause do you love the show? Yeah. We like that. We like that. Yeah. I hope you hear it. I hope y'all can hear that. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna try to use a few more things, gonna tinker with a few more little toys and things like that, to see how we wanna, keep on improving the show and, giving you more what you want, more what you wanna see, more what you wanna more of how we wanna build, you know what I'm saying? So we wanna always keep you edutained. It's very important to keep you entertained. Because if you're entertained, you tend to like more, and you tend to spread the show out because you see I'm working for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, this show for me is selfless. Not selfish. So I feel like when you create content, I feel like it should be worth someone's time. So trust and believe, I always want to give you the best show I can always put on for you because I think you're worth it. Yeah, you subscribe, you spend your time, you deserve good content. So let's get into this show, the Spring Forward Show. When we spring forward, we always want to do one thing: evaluate. What do we evaluate? Our surroundings. What do our surroundings consist of? People, places, things. Yeah, those are your surroundings. Who do you communicate with? Who do you spend your time talking to? Who do you spend your time building with and positioning yourself with to move forward in life to where things can get better for you, to where you can really evaluate how you want to make your next move, or how you want that to look, how you want that to come across. You know what I'm saying? Like you always want to evaluate, how you come across because you could be missing a couple of things that can keep you from being successful. What do you mean by that? Hanging on to garbage. Shit. First and foremost, hanging on to garbage. Damn, D, what do you mean by hanging on garbage? Daddy D. Shit, hanging on to garbage is literally licking your wounds too long. A woe is me equation. Why'd you do this to me? Ain't nobody did nothing. You look what you've done to yourself. Always think about what you have done and how you have affected your situation simply because you have, kind of brought yourself out of your peace. Always govern that because those are some people's jobs. You'll be surprised how many people want you to bring yourself out of your peace. Hair getting long. I can tell. I'm looking at it now. Uh, Evaluate your circumstances. Search, assess, search and assess everything. Therefore, you can come up with a proper conclusion of how to, handle that equation or handle that situation appropriately, so that you're not making a whole lot of noise. And you're not attracting so much attention. Sometimes things are supposed to be dealt with amicably. That's adult stuff, not children's stuff. Children fight in the street. Adults get away from each other because of you're not seeing things eye to eye. It's best to alleviate the situation by staying away and making sure you are protecting your peace. It's not your concern of how that other person gets their peace, because apparently, if you are not the formulator, then you're not the orchestrator. So therefore, you have to find refuge and get some peace. There are so many, you know, valuable things that you can learn from valuable individuals, and they still may not have the same values as you because you are you and they are them. So, a lot of individuals and a lot of people will, you know, people that you're close to, they'll take a swipe at you. Yeah, they wanna dominate. They wanna maintain their so-called position. What does that really mean to you? Nothing. Because you have your own so-called position. When you live and when you purchase a home, when you are a person that has achieved enough, I done bought 3 houses in my life by myself. No, 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 no. 2 by myself, distance with my wife. Yeah. So it's steps to the things that you do in life. It's you have to be extremely, I would like to call it, disciplined. Let me get this camera straight. I don't like it's all the way right. I don't like that. MJ ain't showing shit. Anyway, I like to keep things positive, always moving forward. But do you understand that's not how people really interact or want to interact? They like mess. They life ain't complete if ain't no mess in it. That's just the facts. Peace is not everybody. Like you gotta really let's take that back. I was about to say something, and I didn't want to put the cart before the horse. But let me explain something to you. Everybody don't like peace as far as matrimony and and a quiet, beautiful life that you can go anywhere, do what you want to be, uh, do how you want to do. And like me and my wife, we're gonna start traveling, going places, and that's why we try to stay humble and in tune with the planet. You know, no one wants to go anywhere where you're not welcome. Some people don't understand that equation because you'll take some folks go and exploit and think they so much better than the locals, and they want to treat people like everybody they damn serving, or they damn like somebody owe them something, or like you deserve to be treated with you know that's when you got to look at some. Hey, you don't get to treat people like that. I had to check. Man, we was traveling. We was back home in Pensacola. We was staying in a resort because it was private. Sometimes you don't want to be around nobody but you and your wife and your baby and that close family, that close knit time. So dig this, right? You got a person just treating this doggone uh concierge nasty for no reason. I had to, lady, that's extremely unnecessary. You don't have to talk to anybody like this. Stop. Man, right here in the city, at a at an enterprise rent a car, seeing a lady just treating these people that work there nasty, as if they was like I had. Sometimes it's good to police citizens as well from other people that are just they want to bark on people because they know they're in situations that they can't completely defend themselves because they rely on their jobs. So why do you have to pressure them and make that a threat because you want your way and you don't feel like someone is assisting you personally fast enough when you're not first. That's one thing a lot of people is going to have to learn to adjust to. This is a changing of age. You should learn how to gather information in order to educate yourself, to pivot yourself forward in life so that your chances of existing amongst others were better. That means educate yourself about other people other than yourself. That means practice a bit more empathy and sympathy simply because you're not the only type of people that exist. You're not the only type of person that live in your neighborhood as far as your complexion or whatever you want to call yourself. Start utilizing your human traits so that we can better assist each other moving forward because you see, Trump's starting wars everywhere. We're severing ties with nations that like what are we doing? What the hell are we doing this for? What are we doing this for? You have to find your position to create the world you want. Because if you're not doing that, or you're not creating good relationships from a personal perspective, I know this is a global show. I've seen everyone around the world watching me, and I'm grateful. I appreciate you. Thank you. You see, I'm not a bigot. I'm not a racist. I'm not a jerk. I'm not an asshole. I just give it to you straight like it is. If we don't understand how to overcome biases and things that aren't true, that's called learning how to accept things and learning how to move forward and pivot beyond your understanding today so that you can gain a new understanding tomorrow. And maybe then you will get to overstanding and understanding. Yeah, we got to understand sometimes because people challenge when you're so understanding, people think they can walk over you. They don't think you have any inner standing. They don't think you have any overstanding. They just want to put you in a box and tell you that, oh, you better understand me. And you're like, wait a minute. That's when you have to check a person and let them know what you do understand and what they better understand as well. So you have to overstand them by overstanding their understanding and what they was wanting to protrude on you as far as making sure you understand their perspective. But there are two perspectives in an exchange. You don't get to leave with the last connotation of understanding if my perception is different. We may just have to agree to disagree to save face and value your standing. That's standing your ground as far as who you are, because if we go further, then facts have to be laid down on the line. Truth has to be told and spoken from a very pivotal place. And we ain't gonna get into that L word, that lying thing. That makes everything null and void. That means ain't nobody learning shit. That means ain't no need in talking and communicating when you're gonna bring that lying shit in here. There's no communication necessary, needed, and will be had. Because that one thing has to be left out, and that's that lying shit. And that's what people love to do. doll themselves up in a motherfucking lie. Shape shift themselves into a fucking lie. Oh, baby mama themselves into a fucking lie. Baby daddy themselves into a fucking lie. Coerce yourself into a lie. And you know where them lies come from? Only a place that you know, that you recognize. The shit that exists in your mind. That's the only place it exists. You created it, you made it up, you put the pieces together how you wanted to, and voila. Too old. People see through so much bullshit that people do. And it's only to gain an idealistic control to suit them, to appease them, to make them feel so secure. When that's your job to make yourself secure, not the jobs of other people around you to assist you to make you feel as if you have done nothing wrong. Those are enablers that lie to people to feel good about themselves as well, because you have the same types of behavior. A lot of people, this don't just exist in the world. These exist in personal spaces in people's lives. You know, um, a lot of people don't love from a fundamental agape, like they say in Corinthians. Love, it's not unconditional. Love today, as we know it, it is extremely conditional. That's why I'm telling you guys, we got to spring forward and recognize conditional love patterns. If a person can't truly accept the fact that if you're near and dear, accept people where they are, appreciate their growth, appreciate their ability to try, appreciate their ability to want to learn and do better, appreciate the fact that they even give you time. The reason people don't respect other people's time is because they don't feel like they should have to show respect. Now that's mean, and that's sad, and that's cruel, but it's true. Respect is earned. And when you have a great deal of people that show you a great deal of respect, well, then I guess you've earned it. But you have to keep it. What do you mean by that, Danny D? Well, it's plain and simple. You see, you can't go to changing up and being a different uh, type of character when you are in a continual association with people that know you. Time only will tell because that same behavior will always show its face. It will always distribute in the same form of character or and capacity. It doesn't change. Like I used to have a homeboy named Stacy Gore. He used to tell me, man, a zebra don't change the stripes. I say, you ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying. A zebra does not change their stripes. So when people behave a certain way, believe them. That's who they are. Rather, you see the slants on the news or even people in your family. Everything that people do is mostly about manipulation and power. Want to control your mindset and your perspective, wanting to, give you something else to think about. Give them a piece of. I want to give you a piece of my mind. That's a curse, man. Do you understand? Like, people say I use a lot of profane language. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on how I feel. It's not up for you to dictate. But I don't curse people the way people curse people. When you want to give a person a piece of your mind, that means you want to cast a spell. That's what you're doing. When you say, I'm finna cuss your ass out, you're doing just that. You cannot use one profane word, but they like to associate profane language with cursing. And they don't necessarily associate the same way. When you using profane language, it's just that. You're you're speaking louder to make it really plain and simple. You're pushing harder when you say fuck or bitch or shit. All you're doing is pushing out harder. You ain't really no crime in it. You're just pushing energy out. And it's uncomfortable to people that are not perceptive to that. But if a person also says something sweet like, you should have been swallowed. What do you mean? Well, if you wouldn't have ever been, you know, inseminated, your mother should have told your father to pull out and gulp. So that's a curse. That's evil as hell, man. Like when if somebody say that to you, if people say a lot of cruel things to people, and that's just, no pun intended. But I've never been told that. But I've wanted to say that to some people at times. No person that I'm related to, of course. But even people that you're related to, you're just like, oh my gosh, just, yeah. I have to accept the fact that we're related, but I don't have to be around you. I can love you from a distance. See, everything is not about hating people. It's about formulating solutions to help you live a better life. That's all we can do because there are a great deal of, let's say, people that love to inflict their views and how they feel. You like, man, if you don't get out my face with this bullshit, man, I don't give a fuck how you. I don't care how you feel because how you feel isn't even real. It's just some shit you make up because you can't even possibly feel that way, and we have not even had a proper conversation that was built in an exchange that had respect and great characteristics built in them so that we don't cut each other off and we don't have these explosions because we don't want to face reality or deal with the fact people are adults and you don't get to push your will on people that have their own mind. You see, it's sad that adults don't always mature. That's why we have to spring forward. You like the color? Thank you. Uh, it's very important to spring forward. My wife gave me the title to the show. It was dope. I was going to call it something else, but spring forward just had a nice little ring to it. Loved it. Had to do a show about it because it's so pivotal. It's so necessary. Springing forward gives you life because you're not stuck into specific vacuums that people place you in And if you are weak-minded or you're in a place of, I would say you're in a lower vibe. You're walking around in a very low vibration. Do you understand? People can feel that. They pick up on it. But also, when you're walking around with a very high vibration, people feel like it's necessary to bring you down a peg or two. Yeah, they want to so bad. They feel it's their duty to make you feel they shit. It's like, open up your trash can. Let me put my trash in your trash can. You're like, nah, my shit kind of stay empty, and I don't let other people to put they shit in my trash. Nothing personal. It's the way I move. When the fuck you start moving like that? Hell, you think you is? You ain't God. You be like, man, see, this all that shit. That's why I don't bother, because I don't feel like being checked. Cause you ain't nobody to check me. None of you motherfuckers need to check nobody. Check your fucking self. That's your best bet. Before you thinking you can go and just let me let me check you. Who are the Wait a minute. Who the fuck are you to check me? You understand? Some people take their titles entirely too serious. Any title. Mother, father, sister, brother. Sometimes people think you owe them something your whole damn life, especially respect. So you don't give any, but you want some. In what world? That's delusion, people. There's no way. And people, you know, I hate to say it, but a lot of older people do this shit. They do it. And that's why I got the disrespectful elders showing us doing so well, because this is the shit you do. Y'all do not understand respect for real. You don't understand the changing of ages. You don't understand how open information is. You don't even understand how to get the information. You need us to do that. The younger people. I may need my daughter to help me do some things. So it's always quite good to maintain quite a bit of humility and kind of, even when you're old, I think you should be even more humble, because you got to rely on so many people. And if you feel like you don't, then you just may die alone. If you feel like you can devalue people the older you get, I think that's fucked up. I think it's backwards and twisted and rude and cruel. You people are libraries and sources of healing, and should be a place of refuge. But I'm like, y'all like, these days, shit, I can live longer. I don't want to be tied to your ass. See, it's all this old wild shit that, the elders, and they won't respect, and they don't want to be elders. That's wow. You want the qualifications, and well, you have the qualifications, you have those. A lot of you do, but you want all of the respect, and all of the quote unquote uh, perks that come with old age, with your children and your grandchildren. But a lot of you elders don't quite behave in a manner of quite measuring up. You've kind of gave up. That's how I feel. Uh, you want your own life? Cool. That's straight. But you should watch your mouth. You're still living. You still got a long way to go. You know, everybody ain't dying in their 80s and 90s no more. Some people living in their hundreds, especially when you got these young, older folks out here working out and keeping up with. See, I'm in my 40s. I'm in my mid 40s. I can keep up with a cat in their 30s. You know what I'm saying? Because I take care of myself pretty well. I'm great. I don't give a shit. That's cool. Whatever. So I don't put shit in my face and try to ruin my skin and my the my I'm not with it. This is all organic, people. This is all shit. This is all me. I don't do nothing to you know contort. All I do is groom myself quite well and take care of myself. And some people will even attack you on that. You know what I'm saying? So in a lot of situations, especially dealing with family, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, because they take their privileges so for granted. They take their access to you so for granted. So a lot of times it's very important to distance yourself because you don't feel like being your family's punching bag. You don't feel like being their distortion tool. You don't feel like uh, being talked down to or down upon simply because you are who you say you are. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of people that want to take a jab. You know what I'm saying? And always trying to get you right there, right there. They want to put you in the place they want you in. But my advice, my people, always keep the will is in a strong, uplifting space. That's the internal you, because people they're ready to give you some blows. They stay ready to give you some work. So protect yourself. Keep your head on a swivel. I do the same. I ain't tell you nothing. I'm not telling you nothing I don't do. Hey, I keep this head on a swivel, even with my family members. Some people are just everybody don't like you. I've learned. It's okay. Sometimes when people want to show you love, they want to show you love the way they want to show you love, and that ain't love. Because you didn't ask me how I wanted to be loved. You didn't ask me. You insinuate. You perpetuate. You manipulate because you didn't graduate from the school of thought. All you have to do is have real solid conversations with people. Tell them the truth, mean what you say what you mean, and you will get a more profound outcome. But if you're being judged, if you're being talked down on, and if you're also being distorted so that any said party doesn't have a clear vision or view of you, then you have to make sure you put space, a lot of space and time between you and individuals that are so ready to seek your destruction. So that's the show tonight, my people. I hope you learned something. I hope I've given you a couple of jewels to keep you moving forward without, you know, even people close to you pushing you backwards. So keep your eyes, keep your periphery wide open. Keep that head on the swivel, like I told you before. And also, ladies and gentlemen, subscribe, share, check my other platforms out like TikTok, Instagram, Threads. I may be tinkering in WhatsApp. You might hit me up on WhatsApp. That's cool. But yeah, man. Hey, this is the Spring Forward Show. I hope you enjoyed it tonight. And remember one thing, yo, we about to do it. Come on, say it with me. Yeah, that's right. Say it with me. The will is yours. That's right. That's right. I'll check you out tomorrow. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. Thank you, you beautiful people. Thank you, thank you, thank you for views. Thank you for the views.